everybody. Hmm? You were first in here, too. I know. Now you're up. Surprise. Everybody ready? Morning. My name's Andy Kahn. I'm the Director of Victim Services for Crime Stoppers of Houston. This case that we're going to be talking to everybody about today was brought to my attention by two longtime colleagues of mine, one of them that's here, Marilyn Gambrell, and her cohort, Shay Dre Hendry. It's been over 15 years since three teenagers, Avianca Cortez, Detriana Davis, and Rashonda Raleigh, were killed by wanted fugitive Sejan Taimolshina. He has actually been living free in his native Nepal longer than the three girls lived on this planet. Sadly, there's a fourth victim, 14-year-old Benicia Davis. She survived the crash, but because of survivor's guilt, 1 month later, she took her own life. Taimolshina is also responsible for her death. When I met with the families in August of 2025, I told them it's time that we put him back on the map. And the world needs to know what he took from all these families standing behind me. He doesn't deserve to live his life freely, hiding from justice and going about his life as if nothing happened. Crime Stoppers is not asking for tips. We pretty much know where he is. But for over 15 years, these families have lived with pain, anguish, and unimaginable grief, losing their kids while the accused has remained beyond the reach of justice. We're going to show you right now an extremely powerful video that Crime Stoppers, along with the victims' families, put together that we're going to be showing not just here, but in other areas as well. This is extremely powerful, and again, you're welcome to film what we're going to show. So are we ready for the video? 2 seconds, counting. I'll step aside.
This is my baby. Turn it off for just a second. People love. Oh, that was this one. This is my baby. And people loved her. Like, she was just a light for everybody because she was an amazing kid. She was always laughing. Her laugh, or half the house just happened there. More than her over here, man. She was actually 12 going on 13, but in her 20s. Very fun to be around. She always brought joy into the room. That one right there, that's mom. Gives me joy. She was. She was just a fun-loving kid. Outgoing kid. You couldn't stay mad at her for too long at all. She'll come in here with something funny to make you laugh, and you forget why you was just mad at her.
17-year-old Rashonda Rowley from Humboldt, and 13-year-olds Avianca Cortez and Detriana Davis, both from Houston, were riding together in a Ford Expedition along the East Tex Freeway. The vehicle carried 7 people, likely sharing laughter and conversation, unaware that their lives were about to change forever. Investigators say 25-year-old Sejan Taimoshina ran a red light and he slammed into the Expedition. The impact was catastrophic.
I was actually in the same accident she was in. So I actually heard, I woke up to the car stopping from the commotion that it did. And I turned around and then and I see my niece on the ground. Not moving or nothing. But I heard my brother, Rashonda, get up. Rashonda, it's gonna be okay. Get up, Rashonda. Just wake up. Just get up. And I just heard him break down. And I just knew from then she was not okay.
When I got to the scene, I saw a white sheet and I saw hair sticking out of the sheet, and it was dyed hair, like honey blonde with some streaks. And I just highlighted her hair the weekend prior, so I knew it was her. But I saw her hair.
This was the day of the incident. I have the same outfit of hers and her shoes, everything that she's wearing, her accessories and everything in a bucket. Has blood on it and it's torn, but I still have it.
Rashonda and Avianca died at the scene. Detriana was rushed to Bentog General Hospital, but despite efforts to save her, she passed away shortly after.
And there was a 4th victim who died. She took her own life because of survivor's remorse. And none of us had experienced anything like this before. It's like all of our worlds changed that day.
Sejan Taimoshina was charged with 3 counts of intoxicated manslaughter. But before he could be brought to justice, he fled, believed to return to his home country of Nepal. Now, 41 years old, Taimoshina remains at large, a fugitive. He is described as 5'8" tall, 165 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes.
To me, he's a coward. He was not willing to stay and face the consequences.
You know, you took the lives of these beautiful children and just, you know, ran like they meant nothing. And they meant a lot to a lot of people.
Why didn't they keep him? Why didn't they put a hold on his passport, knowing that he just had committed a crime?
Her life, it was pretty much made to be disposable because nothing has happened.
For 15 years, those families had waited, not only with grief, but with unanswered questions and a deep longing for justice.
The last 15 years, it's been hard. It's been, you know, you try to go on with your life and
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my baby. 15 years just, they went by and it feels like it was yesterday.
It's like our life was cut short because of somebody else's choice, and it's not fair.
she will be 28 years old. You think about what they would be doing at this point in their life. And I just feel like that was taken from me. Who she could have been, who she would have been at this point in her life.
He has to pay for that.
I just want justice to be served for these girls. He needs to stand and be accountable for his crimes.
It would put my heart at ease. It sat on my heart for a long time that he left.
It will ease the pain. It will make us feel better.
I'm still angry. Will I forgive him? Because I have to forgive it to my heart. We have to pay for the mistakes we make. That's all I want, is justice for the girls. No, it won't bring them back, but it'll give us some closure.
The suspect believed to be in Nepal, the path to justice has been delayed, the pain prolonged, and accountability remains just out of reach. The fight isn't over. These families continue to carry the weight of their loss with strength, courage, and unwavering hope. Hope that one day, no matter how many years have passed or how far someone may run, justice will be served, not just for those lost, but for the loved ones left behind, because their lives matter and their stories must never be forgotten.
Every case that we file at the DA's office matters, and it's important to me. This one is uniquely important to me. I was on the call-out team that night, 2010. I vividly remember this case when it happened. I remember when he fled like a coward before we could file charges. When I took over vehicular crimes in 2017, this was the first case that I put on my desk. I checked in to see where we were. We still had an international fugitive warrant for him. This defendant was still in Nepal. That's where he is right now. The Nepalese government knows that he's right there. We know where he is. As Andy said, we don't need tips. We need our government. We need the Nepalese government to do what's right. We are 15 plus years since this horrific night. We have 4 incredible families that have had to live day in and day out with this tragedy because of the cowardice of this defendant and, quite frankly, the inaction of 2 governments. These families are aging. We're losing people whose only goal was to see that justice was done. And every day that we delay, we are running the risk of losing more of them before we have a chance to bring this individual to the justice he so richly deserves. My office will never, ever stop looking for ways to bring him back to deal with this. My office will never, ever stop supporting these incredible survivors on their mission. I have to say thank you to Andy and the entire Crime Stoppers team for giving us another platform to call out the inaction of the governments that are involved. This is not a difficult decision. Send him back so that my office can get the justice that these families and these beautiful girls deserve. We stand ready the second he gets back here to hold him accountable for these cases. This case still sits on my desk. This is one that has to end. So instead of calling Crime Stoppers for tips, if you're seeing this, call your congressman, call your senators. Tell them that this is not okay. This isn't some manhunt. This is simply doing what's right. Give these families the opportunity to get this part of it done and start a healing process that is 15 years too late. Thank you again, Andy.
I'm going to introduce representing the families. Roxanne is the sister of Avianca.
Good morning, everyone. I want to start by saying thank you, and your efforts, your presence here this morning has not only been a restoration of my hope and faith in the justice system, but also in parallel and anchor to my moral compass for District Attorney Sean Tier, Andy, and the entire Crime Stoppers team, Ms. Gambrell, Shay in her absence, and the entire No More Victim Task Force. Had it not been for you guys carrying the memories and this fight, not only on your backs, but also in your heart, I wouldn't have the strength to stand before you today. My name is Roxanne, and I stand before you today in dual capacity, a sister and an advocate. On July 9, 2010, my 13-year-old sister, Avianca Cortez, was taken from us in a devastating accident, along with two of her friends, Rashonda Riley, whose family is here, and Detriana Davis. Having survived this tragic day, one of the two survivors later took her own life due to survivor's guilt 1 month after this tragic incident. Benicia Davis took her own life due to the anguish of living through the very thing that claimed the lives of her closest friends. When my sister and I discussed our futures and anticipated all that life would have in store for us, not one time did we prepare for our forever to end so soon or abruptly. Instead of preparing her for school dances, graduation, her wedding day, I had to prepare her for her funeral. The heartbreak of doing her hair, her makeup, and picking out her clothes just to watch a piece of my heart in a casket is a wound that, even after 15 years, that still has yet to heal. One that was never meant to be woven into the tapestry of my life. Milestones like birthdays, holidays, and graduations now resonate with an emptiness, a void that can never be filled, not just for my family, but to everyone who loved all these precious babies whose life today is still supposed to be in front of them. Her dreams and aspirations were as big as her smile. She hoped one day to be a model, not knowing that her life would leave a legacy of not just survival, but for accountability and responsibility, for us to be more vigilant and to help bring justice back to a system that has cradled and made it acceptable for one to be so careless about the lives of others and themselves when they choose to drink and operate a vehicle while under the influence of anything that alters your baseline receptors. This moment is not only filled with grace, but intent. Intent on getting justice, intent on being the voice for the sweet tones that were muffled in silence way too early in life. Intent to make sure that we are never desensitized to the abnormal normalcy that driving intoxicated is accepted or tolerated. Not only do I walk for her, but I stand for all the girls who lost their lives and for the ones who were impacted by this tragedy as well. Despite the years that have passed, there has been no justice. The individual responsible, Sejantil Machina, has evaded accountability. He robbed 3 young lives, and we can justly say 4, yet he remains a free man. This is unacceptable, it is unjust, and that is why we stand before you today, because the time has come. It is time for Sejantil Machina to be extradited from Nepal and bring back to the United States to face trial. It is time for our families to find peace and for our girls to receive the justice they deserve. This tragedy has bonded our families together forever. Through pain, we have built something strong, a family of shared grief, shared love, and shared hope. And I want to thank everyone who's helped us along the way. Liv O'Shea, who couldn't be here today, but has been working so hard for our family. Ms. Gambrell, my Mama G, District Attorney Chantier, and Mr. Andy, you have helped us turn heartbreak into movement and action. Say their names with me. Avianca, Rashonda, Detriana, Benicia, Houston's Hope for Four. Thank you.
Because the path of justice has been stymied by a lack of treaty with Nepal, the path to hold him accountable has been difficult. But let me unequivocally tell you, and you've seen it here today, none of us are giving up seeking justice for these three young girls. Avianca, Detriana, Rashonda, and Benicia's lives mattered. The families are calling on federal officials, members of Congress, as District Attorney Chantier urged, members of the Senate, and you, the public, to support our renewed efforts to bring Taimel Sheena back to Harris County to face justice. I have been in touch with Texas Senator John Cornyn, who is a big supporter of Crime Stoppers, and we are extremely hopeful that we will be meeting very shortly to discuss the next steps in this process. The families and all of us here today are making a personal appeal to the Nepal government to step up to the plate, do the right thing, and return him back to stand trial. This message is now for Sejan Taimel Sheena. You ran away, vanishing into darkness like the true coward that you are. My hope is that you're made aware that your face and what happens here today is going to be plastered all over the world, and everyone is going to know what you are responsible for. If you have any decency left in you, you will turn yourself in and face the music like a real man instead of hiding behind cloaked doors. It's been my honor and privilege to get to know these families, their willingness to share their story, their emotional anguish, and hope that one day justice will be served. That's all we want. I'd like to thank our law enforcement detail that's here today, our amazing staff at Crime Stoppers, our partnership with the Harris County District Attorney's Office, and you, the media, for helping us get this story. This is step one. We have much more to do, and we will never give up. And at this time, we'll open it up for any questions.
I have a question for Mr. District Attorney. Until recently, you had sort of an extradition expert within your office. She was dismissed, and so who is working on this problem within your office now?
So we have had an extradition department for quite a while. We now have an attorney over it. She is here, Amber Cox. There has been no hiccup, no change. We are working through these, and I have intimately been familiar with this case, as I said, since it started. But in 2017, I began real work on making sure that the red notice, meaning the Interpol international warrant, was still active and working. We had a location that we believe is still good in Nepal for this individual. We've been in communication with the State Department since at least that time, trying to get this process going. This, quite frankly, is a last-ditch effort on that side. We've been working behind the scenes nonstop to try to get this individual back. It hasn't worked through.
We do, just so I'm clear, and maybe the other journalists in the room are clear, I thought we do have an extradition treaty with Nepal, don't we?
We do not.
We do not?
We have an agreement that works sometimes, but we do not.
Because they have extradited people
They have given people back, which is a whole nother layer of frustration that these families have had to go through. They have seen other people be extradited from that country, and yet not this individual.
So it's sort of selective.
That's my understanding.
And the next step is to bring in our sort of our high-powered senators and whatnot to
Yes, the next step is to take this out of behind-the-scenes negotiations and do it in the public. Get it out in every facet possible so that the Nepalese government is on notice, that we're not going to quietly work through this, that our own government is on notice, that we're no longer going to just quietly work through this. We stand ready to try him. We have been ready to try him. When we get him back, this will be a top priority.
thank you for your answer.
Yes, sir.
Here, has the Nepal government responded in any way why they're not sending him back?
There have been communications over the years. There has been some movement in 2018 and 19 where, quite frankly, these families got their hopes up that we were going to receive him back, and then it just stopped. The responses just stopped. And at that point, I wasn't in the position to unilaterally make a decision that we were going to push as hard as we are going to push now. I am in that position now. And with the help of all the partners in this room, including yourselves, we are going to keep this front of mind until we get the decision we want and need.
Does Interpol, I know Interpol's involved, but can you just go and grab them from them?
They cannot. Interpol is a multinational, international agency, but Nepal is a sovereign state. They have the ultimate say, as does the United States, as does Mexico and Canada, who are the two nations that we most usually work with extraditions. But they cannot unilaterally go get him. But they do have the red notice, which is the international warrant for this individual. In 2018, I added charges to this case. We have him on 3 intoxication manslaughters. I added manslaughters as well. So he is facing 6 charges right now, and that is an extradition and international treaty. Once we bring him back, there cannot be any additions or changes to charges. So I wanted to make sure, even in 2017 and 18, that we had everything ready to go when and if the Nepalese government does the right thing.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate everything. Everybody good? Thanks, Red. Appreciate everybody here. You bet.